Welcome to the overview of the Tennessee Principal and Supervisor of the Year process. My name is Lauren Huddleston. I work at the Tennessee Department of Education on the Educator Effectiveness team. I was hoping we wouldn't have a special guest, but my cat Emerson has decided to join us, and I hope he is well behaved. Martha Moore, would you like to introduce yourself?
Good afternoon, everybody. I am Martha Moore, Senior Director of Educator Effectiveness, and I have the joy of working with Lauren and also working with the recognition programs. And I really appreciate everybody joining. Congratulations on your nominations, all the things. And it is 3:30. And as an educator, I know when the bell has rung and it's time for my snack. So I was just having some peanut butter and crackers. So welcome to our webinar. I'll turn it back over to Lauren.
Thanks, Martha. And it's 3:30 on a Friday, and you guys are spending time online with us. So we are so honored for that. So today's webinar is going to go over the Principal of the Year and the Supervisor of the Year process. They're very similar. The Tennessee Principal of the Year program recognizes and honors outstanding school leaders across Tennessee. We applaud you guys, principals who demonstrate superior abilities in managing and motivating students and faculties, evoking high standards, demonstrating a commitment to excellence, implementing innovative programs, and having a track record of exceptional gains in student learning. The Tennessee Supervisor of the Year program recognizes and honors outstanding district leaders across Tennessee. We applaud supervisors across all disciplines who demonstrate superior abilities in managing and motivating students and staff, evoking high standards, demonstrating a commitment to excellence, implementing innovative programs, and having a track record of exceptional gains in student learning. This webinar will provide an overview of the Tennessee Principal and Supervisor of the Year selection process and benefits of participation. So we will have just an overview of the process and benefits. I am most excited to have a panel discussion with former Tennessee Principals and Supervisors of the Year. They have so much knowledge and wisdom from across the state, and I'm excited for everyone to get to meet them. And we'll have some Q&A time at the end as well. Following this webinar, we hope you'll be able to identify the benefits of participating in the programs and understand the phases of selection for each of the programs. A few norms to make the best use of our time and respect all attendees. Please remain on mute until we get to the Q&A section. And if you have questions that arise before then, please use the chat feature in Teams. And to kick us off, please answer the following question in the chat. What is one thing you hope to gain from this training session? There are no wrong answers. What is something you are hoping to gain or learn through today's webinar? Understanding of the process, guidance in the process, knowledge of it. Yes, 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 that is all excellent. I'm going to go ahead and put some links in the chat for our web pages. For Principal of the Year and for Supervisor of the Year, we have some really great resources there that better outline the process, and anything that you will need after today's webinar, you can 99% sure find it on one of those websites. All right. So by participating in the Tennessee Principal and Supervisor of the Year programs, leaders have the opportunity to be celebrated and honored for making exceptional gains with students, expand knowledge and education policy, and participate in local, state, and national policy discussions, serve on state-level committees and consult department initiatives, act as spokespersons and advocates for the education profession, and become inducted into an amazing network of statewide awardees and become connected to an impactful, ongoing body of work that engages you as a professional long after the service year. Principals and Supervisors of the Year are selected competitively through 4 cycles: district, region, grand division, and state. If you are here today, there's a really good chance that your district has already identified you as a Principal of the Year or a Supervisor of the Year at the district level, and we definitely want to celebrate that. That is an accomplishment, certainly in the year 2022. Nominations for district level principals and supervisors were due on January 16th, and emails to notify those winners and provide information were sent earlier this week. In order to complete the first part of the application process, an individual must be selected as a district representative. A little trivia time. Please answer in the chat. True or false? You must be nominated at the district level to submit a state level application. See lots of truths. You guys are all right. You're paying attention. I feel really blessed that you're paying attention to me on a Friday afternoon. That is true. District level nominees are invited to submit part 1 of the application by March 13th for Principal of the Year and Supervisor of the Year programs. All of the application dates are the same for both programs. The part 1 application can be found on the recognition program websites and also in the email that you received earlier this week. The first part of the application includes basic information about yourself, 2 written response questions, 1 video response, and an opportunity to submit up to 5 pages of supporting documentation. After the March 13th deadline, regional scoring committees will identify 3 region-level semifinalists in each of the 9 core regions for a total of 27 region-level semifinalists for each program. All applicants will be notified of their status by April 29th. Oh, wrong direction. The 27 region-level semifinalists will be invited to complete part 2 of the application, which will be emailed to semifinalists. These are due by May 29th. The second part of the application contains 2 written response questions, 1 video response, a professional resume, 2 letters of recommendation, a professional biography, a headshot, and a completed signature page from the Director of Schools. There's an opportunity also to submit up to 7 pages of supporting documentation. This application will be scored by a statewide scoring committee who will identify 1 finalist for each region of the state for a total of 9 region-level finalists for each program. Applicants will be notified of their application decision by June 30th for this part. A little bit of a harder true or false question. Answer in the chat. You must wait to receive the application from the program coordinator, that's me, to begin drafting your application. Wow, I cannot trick any of you. Yes, that is false. Some of you might have already clicked the links and seen that you can see the entire Word document for part 1, and you can go ahead and get started on that now. Part 1 and part 2 applications are already available as Word documents on the website. The final stage of the selection process includes an interview. Pending the evolving public health situation, this may be held in person or virtually. The interview will provide finalists an opportunity to share about their professional growth, leadership, philosophy, and achievements. This will be scored by a statewide scoring committee using the application, documents, and interview components to identify a leader to represent each of the 3 grand divisions for East, Middle, and West Tennessee, as well as a leader for the Tennessee Principal of the Year and the Tennessee Supervisor of the Year. And now it's time for our panel discussion. We have some wonderful former and current Principals and Supervisors of the Year. We'll start with our Principals of the Year, and we'll just go in this order. If you could unmute yourself, give us a little bit about yourself, and share a benefit of participating in this program.
Dr. Lang, are you on mute? I know I see her on here. Okay, still no Lanita. All right, Tyler, are you available to chat with us?
Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me?
We'll turn it over to you for a minute.
Wonderful. So my name's Tyler Salyer. I previously served, as I was going through this entire process, as principal of Collierville Elementary School in Collierville, Tennessee. We're located in Southwest Tennessee. And I'm currently serving as principal of West Collierville Middle School. This is my first year being promoted, moving on up to the middle school level. And so having lots to learn here in this setting. And one thing just about the process that I absolutely loved was just the way it causes you to reflect on your practice, on your practices and the things that you have done. And one of the things that was really uncomfortable, but it was really valuable, was asking other people to talk about you. As a principal, we're very often and most of the time truly about the we instead of the me. And that can make things awkward at times, but this process does cause you as a principal to ask others to speak on your behalf, to provide feedback on your behalf. And that was huge. Asking people to do that for me, it was uncomfortable, but the things they said are things that I will cherish and keep literally framed for the rest of my life. They ended up meaning so much. So thank you. Enjoy the ride, enjoy the process, no matter how far in it that you go.
Martha, I'm unmuted now. My name is Lanita Lang, and I'm the 2021 Tennessee Principal of the Year. At that time, I was the principal of Cleveland Middle School, and I am now the supervisor of secondary education in Cleveland City Schools. But what I would like to kind of focus on to talk about is I have had the most amazing opportunity to score Principal of the Year applications, and it is great. I know I went up to Tyler and Chris both, and I said, I learned so much about you by scoring your application. And I'm so impressed with the things that you do. But one thing I would like to point out is the handbook that each of you all have received. On page 9, I have it starred and starred and starred. So applicants, if you can star that, because when someone is reading and they want to know about you and they're cheering for you, they want you to answer the question. And I know that seems like an odd type of advice to give, but you really need to totally answer the question and answer in all parts, because the scorers want to get to know you and they're cheering for you to do the best that you can. And I just want to say congratulations to everyone to this point. I am so proud of you. I know everyone here works so hard and you deserve all the accolades you can get.
Thanks so much, Lanita. And I put the links for the Principal of the Year handbook and the Supervisor of the Year handbook in the chat. All right, Chris.
Good afternoon, and I'll echo the congratulations that came from both Lanita and Tyler. You're probably not participating in this webinar if someone in your district or many in your district don't acknowledge incredible leadership, and if you're not in a school that's experiencing a level of success. So congratulations to you. My name is Chris Hampton. I'm the principal at Dobbins Bennett High School in Kingsport. That's in Northeast Tennessee, probably about 90 miles east of Knoxville, for those not familiar with that part of the state. And I'm in my 11th year as principal at this school. And I think it's quite unique that I've been at this school for the totality of my 25 years. So that certainly created a level of investment in the community, and I think that's very important in this role. So like Tyler said, the reflective part of this process is incredible. You really have to look inward at the type of leader you are, and you will eventually find through the written and video submissions that can be a challenging process. In that we often go through the motion, and especially in the last couple of years, we go through the motion of school, but you really find out how purposeful you are. How many of those leadership standards are you really checking off through your journey as a leader in your school? And so that was very beneficial to me. Maybe the most beneficial part, however, of the process was the affirmation of what we have accomplished independently through independent departments, and then collectively as a school over my time there, because we like to think of ourselves as a good school and our students being successful, but this requires artifacts and documentation that affirm those things. And so when we do things like celebrate those who have a 3-point improvement on the ACT or those who earn industry certifications, we do that for the benefit of our student and the culture of our school. But maybe not until I was documenting all of those things did I really realize, wow, the staff here are doing an incredible job to support our students. And I'm fortunate to be the front person, but we have so many moving parts doing so many great things. And so it allowed me to affirm and celebrate so many of those things that have been enculturated. And that's what you want. Those things just happen because it's important for kids. It's important for our community. It's important for their future. But to go back and not take those for granted, because every one of those artifacts, because we can't do all that. I mean, if you submit something as if you've done it all, then a reader is going to realize that that's probably not humanly possible for a principal to do all of these X, Y, and Z's. So all of the people around me who are doing these things that might have been under my direction, but they're carrying them out, it allowed me to celebrate them and to let them be a part of this journey with me. And then on the backside of that, it's given me an opportunity to illuminate all of those with whom I work, because principals, my opinion is that principals individually don't win these awards. Schools and communities win these awards. And so I really, truly, and this is not false humility, I've taken the opportunity to share this award with the city of Kingsport and the Dobbins-Bennett faculty, because really it was something we did together. So I'm very grateful for this opportunity in the process.
Thanks, Chris. And I might add that when I'm going through the process and talking about one finalist, last year was an impossible year for our scores, and we ended up with 2 Principals of the Year and 2 Supervisors of the Year, and they are all phenomenal. Kay, would you like to introduce yourself, and then we'll go to Rory.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for having me today, and congratulations to each of you for this recognition and this honor. To give you a little bit of my story with this process, I was actually, as you are in this stage of the process, and notified in the fall of 2019. And so I submitted that first stage of the application, and then later found out that I had made it to the next round. And when I started completing the application for the second and third parts and getting ready for the interview and all of that, we were actually in the middle of March of 2020. And so we all know what March of 2020, how it changed all of our lives. And so when I was writing the second pieces of the application, I was actually at home, like many of us, and writing that. And just things were so uncertain. And so it was really an opportunity to reflect on what we were doing, what we may need to be doing differently in the future. But it also really helped me to go back to my why. why are we doing what we are doing? And so I think that was able to come out in my writing with that, and in that reflection pieces with those essays. And that was just something that I really needed at that time when I was away from our schools and our teachers and our students, and even at that time, the co-workers here at the central office. And so that was just a nice piece to get me back to why. Why are we doing what we do? And so that reflection was a key there. Also, if you get to the next rounds, as they've spoken, you will then be a part of, the following year, a part of reading and scoring the applications from the next applicants. And we all know that we're better together. That's why whether you're at a school or you're at a central office position, you have a team. And so really my team was able to expand beyond Rutherford County, and I got better just by reading those applications and hearing those ideas and seeing those things. I wasn't able to take anything back specifically and completely copy, but I was able to steal and borrow some ideas that I saw in those applications. And really, that's what we all do every day. When we were in the classroom, that's what we did, and that's what we do now. And so that just made me a better educator and helped me to serve my schools and my principals in a better way. And so that's what I got out of the process. And I'm sorry, I just jumped right in. I am Kay Martin. I'm from Rutherford County Schools in just in Middle Tennessee here. So I'm the secondary coordinator for Rutherford County. And that's it.
All right, I'm Rory Henson. I serve as the high school supervisor and CTE director for the Gibson County Special School District. And Gibson County is right in the middle of West Tennessee, just north of Jackson, for those of you not familiar with West Tennessee. And thank you so much for letting me have an opportunity to talk. And I will tell you that I had the good fortune to be chosen as our district supervisor a couple of years ago, and I don't think I embraced the process as much as I did this last time. And I encourage you to do that. Take the time to answer the questions and do the videos, because as the other folks have talked about, it kind of gets you out of your comfort zone a little bit, but we all know that we learn a lot when we're out of that comfort zone, because I want to say congratulations to everybody on the call, because you've been recognized either as a principal of the year or supervisor in your district. And we all do really good things, and this process kind of forces you to think about those good things and reflect on them and kind of be able to articulate those things. So I know Dr. Lang talked about answering the question. In the process this past year, I put a lot of time in on one of the questions and went back and really read it and had a colleague read it and realized that I wasn't answering the question. So really think about that and kind of script out what you're going to do. Also, when you go to do the video, think about scripting that out and thinking about it, because you have a time frame, and sometimes you have to be really concise. The other thing is the questions last year, I don't know if they're going to this year, had a character limit or a word limit. So you have to be concise in those answers. So just kind of really think about that. The other thing I thought was really good about the process is I was able to talk to other people in our district who had gone through this and kind of talked about how they would answer the question, and it made them think about, well, they knew what I did. And that's just a really cool thing. I also want to say that I thought the department, the whole process was really, really well done. And I thought that, at each level, it was a really cool process, and it really challenged me. And I think it made me a better leader. So thank you. And I wish everybody good luck.
Thank you both for sharing, and all of you for sharing. I think those are all really important points that Martha and I can't really glean because we haven't actually applied for the process or been through it. And it's really great to hear how beneficial it's been. Do we have Scott on the call? I don't see his name, but I don't want to miss him. All right.
I'll jump in for just a second and reiterate a couple of things that I just want to make sure we bring to the surface. I think you heard repeatedly our former and current recipients talking about their why, the story of us, the story of the whole district, being reflective, embracing the process. And and letting other people help you talk about yourselves. This is not the time to decide to be humble. While actually I know that you are humble, I have worked with many of the people on this call, and that you are very thoughtful and know that it takes a village to do what you do. But it is the time to let your people tell your story and help you tell it. So let somebody else read it, as Rory said, and make sure you're answering the question. Make sure you're actually lifting up the really great things that are going on in your district that you have your hands on. Because that's what this is about. The Principal and Supervisors of the Year represent our state as the best of our leaders, and are highlighted in different ways and included in different projects. And while there are all kinds of data points that point towards success, there's a whole lot more to it that's a people thing. So think about how you use your people to help tell your story. And at this point, I'm going to be quiet and let Lauren take her webinar back over.
All thoughts are welcome. At this point, we will turn it over to any questions from anyone who is applying this year. Questions for me, questions for any of our former winners. What is it you're wondering? What can we help you with? What's on your mind right now? You can use the chat. You can unmute as well.
Funny how at 3:57 Central Time there aren't any questions on a Friday. Just saying.
I'd like to think it's because the guidebook and all of the comments so far have just been astounding.
I am sure that is true, but should someone stumble into a question and need our help, please reach out. We are here to help. Lauren or I, either one, will be happy to help you with your question or connect you with somebody who might be able to.
I'll put our emails in the chat in case anyone would like to reach out later on when you've had some time to percolate.
And I think Lauren and I both would say this is one of the most rewarding and one of our favorite parts of everything that we do is to work with these recognition programs and be associated with such strong teachers and leaders across the state.
All right, well, with that silence, I'm going to remind you of resources that are available online. We have a website for Teacher of the Year and a website for Supervisor of the Year. You'll see all the dates published there. You'll see the guidebook there. We have upcoming webinars. The one that is happening on February 4th will be a little bit more in depth for this first part of the application. So I encourage you to look at the application and come back and talk to us on February 4th so that we can make sure that you are submitting the best representation that you have. We want it to be really, really hard. We cannot give 16 or more principals of the year and supervisors of the year, but we want it to be hard. And we know that you guys are doing really great work. So we want to help you tell your story and help other people come into that as well. We will have weekly office hours that begin January 26th. That's just an open invite. There's no need to RSVP. You can just click the link that was in your webinar email or send me an email if you need another link. Come ask questions. Make sure we can click the links for your videos or anything like that that you just want to double check before you submit. We are here to help you and to answer questions. We've got one more question to put in the chat. What are you going to do next? What next step are you going to take to prepare for the process? Read the handbooks, a great place. Really details some points to hit for each of those questions. Review the application. And the application part 1 is available as a Word document for you to type it, for you to come back to it. I think it was Chris or Rory who said he kept working on it and working on it. And so that's a great way for you to save your work and come back and check those word counts as well. Begin scripting your video. Those are all great ideas. All right, thank you for coming. We have a short survey to get feedback for how this webinar went. If you could click that link, that would be great. And please reach out. We're here to help at any time. Let us know what we can do to help you. And congratulations again. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Stay warm.
Thank you all.